No matter what. Not no matter what as long as the conditions are reasonable. Not no matter what unless it gets really hard. Not no matter what except when the loss feels too great, or the setback feels too final, or the voice in your head makes a case so convincing that stopping feels like the only sane response to an insane situation. No matter what. Those three words, unconditional, absolute, non-negotiable, are the difference between a person who builds something and a person who builds something until it gets hard and then stops and wonders why nothing ever works out for them. No matter what is not a feeling, it is a policy. And the people who live it, who have made it so deep and so permanent a part of how they operate that difficulty cannot breach it, are the people who eventually build lives that look impossible from the outside, but feel inevitable from the inside. Welcome to Motivation Daily. Today I want to talk about what it actually means to keep going no matter what, and why the what is more challenging and more specific than most people are prepared for. No matter what means you keep going when the money runs out, when the account is empty and the bills are stacked, and the path that made financial sense 6 months ago no longer makes any sense at all. You find a way to keep moving. You cut, you pivot, you take the job that is beneath what you believe you deserve because what you believe you deserve is not the point right now. Momentum is the point. Staying in the game is the point. Keeping the thread alive until the circumstances shift is the point. You keep going. No matter what means you keep going when the people you counted on leave, when the partner who promised to be there steps back, when the friend who said they believed in you goes quiet, when the mentor who was supposed to open doors closes theirs, when the team you built starts to fracture under the pressure of a journey that turned out to be longer and harder than anyone signed up for. You grieve what is lost, you let it hurt what it hurts, and then you keep going, because the mission does not pause for the personnel changes. No matter what means you keep going when you fail publicly, when the launch does not land, when the product fails in front of the very audience you were trying to impress, when the presentation falls flat, the pitch gets rejected, the thing you put everything into comes back with a verdict of not good enough in front of people who are now watching to see what you do next. You stand up. You absorb it, you extract every piece of useful information from the failure, and you use it to build the next attempt better than the last one. You keep going. Let me tell you about Bethany Hamilton. At 13 years old, she was already one of the most promising surfers in Hawaii. She was paddling on her surfboard in the ocean when a tiger shark attacked and severed her left arm. She lost 60% of her blood. She nearly died. And 1 month after leaving the hospital, she was back on her surfboard. Not because the trauma was not real, not because the loss was not devastating, because she had decided somewhere in that hospital bed that the shark was not going to take surfing from her, that the ocean was still hers, that the version of her life she had been building before that morning was still the version she was going to live. Adapted, yes. Forever changed, yes, but not surrendered. She went on to compete professionally. She won national surfing championships. She surfed waves that would terrify most two-armed surfers. She did it with one arm and a will so absolute that watching her became one of the most moving demonstrations of what a human being is actually capable of when they decide, really decide, that no matter what is not just a phrase, but a way of being. Or think about Thomas Edison, not the legend, the reality. A man who ran out of money so many times during the development of the light bulb that his investors pulled out repeatedly, who was so in debt at certain points that he could not pay his employees, who faced not just the 10,000 famous failed experiments, but also the business collapses, the partnership betrayals, the fires, literal fires that destroyed his laboratories and years of work, who lost his hearing and worked on sound technology anyway, who lost his laboratory to a catastrophic blaze when he was 67 years old and was found by a journalist standing outside watching it burn, saying, "There goes all our mistakes. Thank God we can start fresh." Start fresh at 67 after watching everything burn.
That is what no matter what looks like in a human being who has actually made it a policy rather than a phrase. Think about the parent raising a child with severe special needs, who did not choose this journey, who had a different picture in their mind of what parenthood was going to look like, who goes through days that break them and nights that do not restore what the days took, and who shows up again the next morning, not because it is easy, not because the grief of what they expected versus what they got has fully resolved, because that child is theirs, and love, when it is real, is no matter what in its purest and most human form. That parent is keeping going in a way that most people will never be asked to and will never fully understand, and it is the most extraordinary thing a human being can do. Here is what I need you to hear about your own no matter what. Whatever you are going through right now, the financial pressure, the relationship that is not working, the career that is stalled, the health challenge, the grief that is not lifted, the dream that keeps getting pushed back by a reality that doesn't seem interested in cooperating, your no matter what is being forged in this exact moment, not after the difficulty passes, in it. The policy gets written in the hard chapters, not the easy ones. And every time you choose to keep going when stopping was available, you make the policy a little stronger, a little more permanent, a little more truly yours. So today, in whatever hard chapter you are currently in, I want you to recommit, not to the outcome, not to the guarantee that it will work out the way you hope, but to the going, to the showing up, to the absolute, unconditional, non-negotiable decision that you are someone who keeps going no matter what. No matter how tired, no matter how long it takes, no matter what the scoreboard currently says, no matter what. Keep going. Share this with someone who needs the reminder that no matter what is a policy, not a feeling. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up for you every single day, no matter what, because that is what this channel is built on. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the no matter what situation you are currently refusing to quit on? Name it, own it. Your commitment right here is the next step forward. Let's go.